Most filmmakers think tension comes from battles, explosions, or dragons. But House of the Dragon Episode 3 proves something far more valuable. You can make an audience incredibly anxious using nothing but paperwork, politics, and a hallway. Today, let's decode exactly how they did it. So hey everybody, I am Ritika Dua. Welcome to Anigramix. Today we are entirely skipping the battles and the spectacle. Instead, we are looking at Season 3, Episode 3, Rhaenyra Triumphant, as a masterclass in cinematic pressure. After the biggest victory of the series, the filmmakers intentionally shift the narrative. They move away from physical conflict and dive straight into psychological conflict. By the end of this video, you will understand how to force your viewers to experience the crushing weight of leadership rather than the thrill of conquest. Let's start with the danger of actually getting what you want. Lesson number 1: the throne isn't the reward, it's the conflict. What happens the exact second your character finally wins? Most stories just roll the credits. They treat victory as the finish line. But great stories understand a terrifying truth. Victory immediately creates a completely new, often worse problem. This episode takes Rhaenyra's biggest achievement, capturing King's Landing, and instantly transforms it into her greatest source of pressure. Think about her first days governing. We do not see grand celebrations. Instead, we see endless political requests, constant interruptions, and suffocating public expectations. The hidden filmmaking decision here is the writers intentionally refuse to let the audience celebrate. They replace the external conflict of war with institutional conflict of ruling. Emotionally, the enemy is no longer an opposition army. The enemy is responsibility itself. Whenever your protagonist achieves their ultimate goal, do not remove the conflict. Replace it with a more psychological demanding one. Because winning isn't the end of the story, it is the beginning of the nightmare. Lesson number 2: how directors make a castle feel like a prison. But how do you visually show that nightmare? We have seen the Red Keep for multiple seasons now. So why does it suddenly feel completely suffocating? The physical location never changed, but the directing did. Think about how director Claire Killer handles Rhaenyra's movement throughout the castle. As she walks through the hallways, enters the throne room, or navigates long corridors, she never moves with the uninterrupted confidence of a queen. Instead, she is constantly stopped. She is redirected. She is surrounded, interrupted, and relentlessly watched. The visual language is subtle but completely clear. The castle is beginning to control her movement. Emotionally, this communicates that power does not grant freedom, it removes it. As a creator, never let your environments remain emotionally neutral. The same physical location should evolve alongside your character's psychological state. When done correctly, the walls themselves become the antagonist. Lesson number 3: visual stress without action. How do you make an audience sweat when absolutely nothing dangerous is happening on screen? For much of this episode, nothing big occurs, yet you constantly feel a knot in your stomach. That comes from visual pressure, not plot. During long conversations, court proceedings, and audiences with nobles, the cinematography completely ignores the dialogue. Instead, the lens repeatedly emphasizes isolation. It highlights vast distances between characters, utilizes crowded, uncomfortable frames, and places visual obstructions in the foreground. It weaponizes negative space. The camera forces the audience to subconsciously feel trapped long before Rhaenyra ever admits she is overwhelmed. Remember this: stress should always appear visually before it appears in the dialogue. Show the emotion in the frame and do not rely on your actors to announce it. Your lens is your most effective tool for building silent anxiety. So here comes lesson number 4: sound design that creates anxiety. Now, if you close your eyes during this episode, you will still feel incredibly uneasy. Why? Because this episode demonstrates how sound can become pure psychological storytelling. The musical score doesn't simply accompany the scenes. It actively amplifies Rhaenyra's growing instability. We hear uneasy, unresolved strings and spares, haunting piano notes, but it's not just the music. Listen to the ambient sounds of the castle. Silence is rarely complete here. Instead, quiet transitions and night sequences are filled with echoing footsteps, scratching rats, and distant overlapping voices. These persistent environmental noises make the Red Keep feel actively hostile. They remind the viewer that Queen is never truly alone. Good sound design creates emotional pressure long before the first word is spoken. When you weaponize the environment's sound, you trap the viewer inside the protagonist's mind. So here comes the lesson number 5, production design that tells the story without dialogue. What if I told you the furniture and the floors in this episode are doing heavy narrative lifting? It proves that production design is not just background decoration, it is active storytelling. Pay attention to the empty treasury, the rat infestations, and the shadowy interiors of the Red Keep. The condition of the kingdom perfectly reflects the queen's internal emotional state. Instead of showing prosperity and gold after major victory, the production design emphasizes decay. Everything feels slightly broken, faded, and neglected. The physical world itself is arguing against the illusion of a triumph. When you are building your scenes, you must design environments that communicate story progression. The setting should always evolve with the narrative. The spaces your characters inhabit should constantly reveal the truth they are trying to hide. Here comes the last lesson, that is lesson number 6, the fake victory twist. The most brilliant twist in this episode has absolutely nothing to do with a sudden betrayal or a hidden knife. The Darren reveal works so well because it attacks the audience's certainty. For a long time, the writers intentionally allow us and the characters to believe that victory has been secured by capturing Darren. Then they reveal that the captive is impostor. This isn't just a shock for the sake of a shock. It retroactively changes how viewers interpret all the earlier scenes, rewarding anyone who was paying close attention. Good twists expose false confidence. The absolute best plot twists do not simply add new information to your story. They redefine the information your audience already had. A great twist makes your viewer question everything they thought was true. Now, here comes the conclusion. Great filmmaking is never about making victory feel exciting. It is about making success feel impossibly expensive. Episode 3 reminds us that the hardest part of any story isn't winning the prize. It's carrying the weight of what you have won. The next time you write or direct a triumph, don't let your characters celebrate. Make them carry the burden. Keep creating, and I will see you in the next Anigramix lesson. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're still here and watching, thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe to Anigramix and also press the bell icon. You already know why. So see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thank you.